Well, we know that last week the Eagles made the decision to promote Kevin Patullo to be the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. And, there was some questioning of it. I know you and I did a lot of questioning of the decision. And there were a lot of people on our text line and a lot of people on social media during that show.
And our station.
Yeah, that's right. To do the whole, hey, whatever the Eagles do, just trust them because they are a successful organization. Been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 seasons. They obviously just won it on February 9th of this year.
You got to believe them.
So whatever the Eagles decide to do, you got to believe them. And look, I understand why a fan would say that. I do. But that's just not me. That's not who I am. I don't think anybody should have blind faith when it comes to anything in life because I believe questioning decisions can always make us smarter, even if the decision seems to be just the greatest decision in the world. This is the hot commodity head coach, Chip Kelly. How'd that work out? It didn't. You questioned the hiring, and you were right about it, Johnny. But
couldn't stand it.
Then sometimes there are stories of the guy that's never done it before, like Kevin Patullo, and then all of a sudden he thrives. Who knows? We'll find out.
And that, by the way, it's okay to say that might happen.
Yeah, it could.
And it very well might happen. I had no idea Nick Sirianni was going to be a big success.
Right, exactly. And he's one of the most successful coaches in the history of the sport.
But after the way I doubted Andy Reid, I tried to temper it.
That's a good way to go about it.
Because I really, when they hired Andy Reid, I didn't know you at the time. You were in high school.
Andy Reid, when they hired him?
I mean, you were in middle school?
No, 99?
You were in, I'm just trying to put your age.
6.
You were 6. I didn't call you that day. No, I believe it was a Saturday, too, when it leaked that he was going to be the coach. And I'm saying, who the hell is Andy Reid?
Right.
Who the hell is Andy Reid? I knew who Doug Peterson was. And a guy that I worked with was friends with Brian Finneran, was friends with Doug Peterson. So I was getting some scoop on who Doug Peterson was, the man and everything. Yeah. But I still didn't like that one either, necessarily. Right. So I've learned to temper it that, you know what? Initial reaction may not be
But
right.
something I can never do is just to say, Eagles did it, so that means it must be right.
No.
I can't do that. That's who I am when it comes to life in general. So I asked the question of, do the Eagles deserve blind faith or at least very little questioning for 2 reasons. One, the reaction to the Kevin Patullo decision, which is probably what you guys were talking about on Friday when it came to this question. But now we also turn our attention to what's next. And what's next is a bunch of big-name Eagles that are entering free agency. We know that Milton Williams is going to be a free agent. Josh Sweat is a free agent. Mekhi Becton, it was a 1-year deal. Same with Zach Bond.
Sure.
And we are going to go through a list. Jeff McClain of the Philadelphia Inquirer put together his who stays, who goes, and it's not necessarily opinionated. It's both opinionated but also based off of the reporting that he has been doing.
It's the scariest list I've ever seen.
So be prepared for that coming up in a few minutes. And look, there are a lot of reports outside of Philadelphia that there are many teams interested in Zach Bond for a big dollar amount. And we have complained, and this is why I can't do the blind faith thing. We have complained for years in this city about a lack of linebacker play. For years. And if Zach Bond were to leave Philadelphia, they let him walk. He's already here. So they let him walk. Are you really going to turn a blind eye to what the Eagles do just because they're the Eagles and they're a successful organization? I know they won a Super Bowl because of a linebacker, because they had good linebacking play. If they
As a contributing factor.
Right. But if they let him go, well, one of the best defenses, the best defense
Absolutely.
in the NFL, an all-pro linebacker. If they let him go because the dollar amount is too much, are you really just going to go, well, if the Eagles say it's too much, then I believe in the Eagles?
Well, the weird thing is here's my prediction. The same people who are lecturing you in the sports media that you got to give Howie Roseman and blind faith on the hiring of Kevin Patullo. They know what they're doing. They just won a Super Bowl. The minute they let Zach Bond walk, these same people need to shut up. I don't ever need to hear from you. If you go, what are they doing letting Zach Bond go? You can't have it both ways. And that's why the idea of blind faith to me is absurd. Absurd. And a guy like Howie Roseman, do I have faith that Howie Roseman can build a team into a Super Bowl winner? Yeah,
absolutely.
He's proven it twice, and he really could have done it a third time.
Yep.
Do I have faith that Howie Roseman, every decision he makes or every plan he has for an offseason is good? No, because his plan for the 2023 offseason sucked. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Some of his signs for the 2024 season were terrible.
I don't get it. And it's weird because the same people that are telling me, Kevin Patullo, you got to understand. Eagles know what they're doing. They got to trust them. Are the same people who maybe 8 months ago were telling me Nick Sirianni should have been fired. So in other words, you didn't trust Howie Roseman then, but now you're telling me, oh, I got to give Howie Roseman blind faith. If you wanted Nick Sirianni fired, do not tell me that you want me to give blind faith to Howie Roseman. Because you didn't have blind faith in Howie Roseman just 8 months ago.
But now they got more. Now got more information.
Okay, so now that's what I mean. But everything must apply. If you get blind faith, then if Zach Bond walks out the door, you got to go, Howie knows what he's doing.
I'm going to tell you why that's an absolutely flawed argument. Both of those, as we get into. Well, it's a little bit of a deeper breakdown. But basically, if you have blind faith in the Philadelphia Eagles to make the smart decision, then you're not even considering that Zach Bond ever leaves the building, right? Like, part of the faith comes from these guys always make the right call, and when they have a 3-foot putt in front of them, they're going to make it. They're going to keep Zach Bond.
And if they do let him walk,
then it's an immediate turnaround of like, okay, yeah, we were wrong. But like, they're not going to let.
The thing is, I can't do that.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we don't have to worry about it because Zach Bond's not leaving.
I don't know.
I'm telling you right now, Zach Bond is in this building. I will put my word on that.
Well, it's
insider. Birds insider comments.
I would tell you that is that's bold. That is a bold
I hope
statement.
it's the truth.
We hope it's the truth, but that's bold.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Coming up next, obviously the question is, do the Eagles deserve blind faith or at least very little questioning?
Thank you so much for checking out our content on the 97.5 The Fanatic YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, you can always be checking the playlist. There may be something you missed from one of our shows during the day that you want to go back and check out. So every time you like a video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and you'll have that great content coming to you every single day. You're greatly appreciated.